So Mary, just to spell out the rules again for you and for your reference, you will have 5 minutes to speak on any topic you wish. You will get a 1-minute warning, a 20-minute warning, or 20-second warning, and then we'll finally cut you off. Then you'll be asked 4 questions. These same 4 questions have been asked by the two previous candidates before you, and will also be asked of Mr. Wilson. Are you ready to begin?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mary Kozorys, and I'm your NDP candidate for the riding of Thunder Bay Atikokan. I would like to begin by thanking all the members of the Northwestern Mountain Escarpment Protection Committee for their diligence in bringing forward their concerns regarding the proposed Horizon project. As I stated publicly in September of 2011, this project has been marred from the beginning. A poor job of public consultation with minimal formal notice to the residents located within 2 kilometers of the proposed project, as well as an insufficient size of mailing data. I am gravely concerned that Horizon is now one step closer to building its turbine farm, with the Ministry of Environment stating that Horizon's application meets all the standards set by the Green Energy Act. There has been a complete lack of respect shown to the members of Fort William First Nations in this consultation process, as well as in understanding that this land is protected under laws outside of the Green Energy Act, namely under the 1850 Treaty, and most importantly, by the Creator. There are many questions, in fact too many, which remain either unanswered by the proponents or marginally responded to. The health and safety concerns alone for hundreds of children at Northwesterview School, only 2 kilometers away from the nearest proposed wind tower. There is no clear response to concerns regarding low frequency noise and infrasound, nor to the concerns of residents regarding the impact of structural failure. Environmental concerns have been ignored to date, including Section 10 of the Endangered Species Act, prohibiting the damage or destruction of the habitat of species classified or endangered. The socioeconomic risks are innumerable. The area in question continues to have a great recreational potential, yet Horizon is willing to take that risk. Ontario Municipal Board hearings in other jurisdictions considering wind farms have revealed that on average, days on the market for resale properties were more than doubled for those properties inside the wind turbine zone. The process has been muddled. No less than 4 provincial ministries have been involved, and the sitting government has said that you need a willing host community, yet there is no framework in place to transfer a project. New Democrats have stated clearly and fervently that host communities need to have a greater say in determining where wind farms are situated. We will not force projects where communities are opposed, and will ensure a transparent consultation process. Neither should contracts automatically be awarded to large corporations at the expense of smaller community-based entities. Finally, most importantly, green energy begins at home with your own examination of consumption reductions. Thank you.
Thank you. So your first question will come from Chief Georgianne Morrisseau of the Fort William First Nation. And again, you'll have 2 minutes to respond.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just want to take a quick second to acknowledge the fact and thank you for honoring the 1850 treaty. And that's what my next question is also referring to. In what concrete ways will your party defer to or support the historical treaty-based relationship between the First Nations and the Crown in Northern Ontario? In your answer, please avoid deference to the Indian Act. As Anishinaabe, we are moving away from the Act and are seeking partners with creative solutions for deepening our existing treaty relationship.
Thank you for your question, Chief Georgianne, and I'm going to bring it back and give you a very simple response, and that is, as Canadians, we have absolutely no understanding of the treaty process, and I think that we would be well served by beginning from that framework. Treaties were established so that we would all benefit from them, so that we could begin on an equal footing. I don't see that happening at all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to call upon Irene Bond from the Northwest Mountain Escarpment Protection Committee.
Hi. Manitoba Hydro has announced, after a 6-year study of existing wind farms between 2007 and 2013, that wind energy is economically unfeasible and no longer supportable. They found that wind generation during peak load hours when we need it the most was zero or near zero. As a result, no new wind farms are being constructed. The same inefficiencies of wind energy production and availability when it is surplus and unneeded apply in Ontario, where we regularly pay others to take our excess power. Meanwhile, the Liberals announced March 31st they are going ahead with more big wind farms. Do you think this is a good idea with rates projected to increase 45% over the next 5 years? What will your party do to stop this waste?
There's a number of factors here, Irene. I'm going to address, first of all, the issue regarding the large wind farms. Absolutely no role for large companies coming in. These projects have to be community-based, community-driven. We've seen very good examples in Europe, for example, where communities, where residents will buy into the program. And when I say buy in, it's because they buy in environmentally, they buy in socially. We're covering all the costs, all the factors. Unless we can prove that demand here is required, we should not be proceeding. It's simply not feasible. The risks are too great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Zig Polkowski, the mayor of the municipality of Niving.
Hi, Mary.
Good evening, Mayor Ziggy.
The city of Fort William, now Thunder Bay, acquired 20 acres of property in Black Township, part of municipality of Niving in the early 1900s. Most of those lands were purchased as a result of bankruptcies, threats of expropriation, or outright purchases from Ontario Crown at below market prices, because it was for the explicit purpose of protecting Lac Lomond water supply for the city of Fort William residents. Now that Thunder Bay no longer needs the water supply, what will you and your party do, whether in government or opposition, to support absolute protection from development of those lands in our municipality?
Thank you, Mayor Ziggy. It's the latter part of the answer I'm going to defer, because this comes back to the Ministry of the Environment and the review of watershed programs. I don't believe that we should be proceeding at all when we've recognized it's been proven the environmental impact of going anywhere close to that watershed, and we know that we require it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, Willie Lacey, a resident of this Niving ward.
Good evening. The east-west transmission line from Wawa to Thunder Bay is said to be needed to stabilize availability of electrical energy in this area. If this line is built, it could replace the need for Thunder Bay generating plant. What assurance will your party give that this plant will fully be converted to natural gas or biomass fuel to ensure reliable power is produced here in our region and for our region, and not brought in from a nuclear plant in Sunderland, Ontario?
Thank you. We have actually spoken several times over the issue of the conversion, and the fact that we have a gas line that goes right past it. This was a commitment that was made several years ago. And with biomass conversion, one of the issues is the fact that if we have another winter, such as the one that we don't have an adequate supply. We would probably only last us until January, so that's not an issue. And also other countries have shown that they're working on advanced biomass, which we don't have the supply of here in northwestern Ontario.
Thank you. All right, well, thank you, Ms. Kozorys. And we'll call upon you later. We'll just have you.